Hello everyone, and happy fall! It's Mrs. Spinagle again, and I wanted to share with you some fun seasonal art activities you can do this month. So you've probably seen some of these around in October. An activity you could do if you need an extra art activity to keep you busy or to use some of the skills we're learning is drawing a still life. If you see some pumpkins or some gourds out somewhere as decoration, see if you can draw them. When you draw a pumpkin or a gourd or a sunflower or any of the lovely seasonal things you see out this time of year, you are using organic shapes. You're using shapes that you find in nature. They're not perfect geometric shapes, but they're shapes that you see every day. Another thing you can try to draw as you do your still life is the texture that you see on the object. So how could you draw the texture of a pumpkin? How could you use line and value, which we'll be talking about when we do the elements of art this month, to make your drawing, your still life, more realistic. Another thing you can do this time of the year is go on a leaf hunt. See how many different leaves you can find on the ground and see if you can identify some of the elements of art in the leaves you collect. For example, in this maple leaf, which is one of my favorites because I love this deep red color, I see line, I see color, and I'm seeing here it's not a primary red, it's more of almost a red violet, almost a tertiary color. I see symmetry. I definitely see shape. And let's compare this maple leaf to this oak leaf. Compare their shape. You could compare their lines of symmetry. You could compare their color. In this leaf, I see almost an analogous color scheme going from yellow to yellow-green to green. And I also see some contrasting color of orangish brown. I have quite an assortment of leaves here because there's another fall activity you can always do this time of the year, and it's called, I'm going to spell it for you. It's very common, but you may not have known that it has this name. It's called frottage. That's how you say it, frottage. I hope I can show you, or I'm showing you that well enough on the screen. But frottage was developed by an artist named Max Ernst, and he was actually a surrealist. That means the drawings that he did were not very realistic, but you can use frottage for things that are very realistic and come from nature. So what is frottage? It's a pencil rubbing. Yes, that's all it is. So I have a clipboard here so my paper won't blow away outside, but what you can do, if you want to capture the beauty of the leaves that you see everywhere this time of year, get some leaves of your choosing from the ground, from your yard, and arrange them on a sheet of paper like so. So I will show and hold this up for you what I'm doing here. It doesn't have to be a lot of leaves, and they don't have to necessarily be the best colored leaves because you're going to choose the colors here in just a minute. So what I've done is I've arranged a couple leaves from my backyard. Oops, that one's gonna fall, but I'll grab it in a minute, on a sheet of paper. And then what I'm going to do, here, I'll put that one back, and there's no right or wrong way to do this, and you could cover the sheet of paper with leaves if you wanted to. If fact, I could maybe add a larger leaf, could maybe add a couple smaller leaves. There's no right or wrong way to do it. But arrange them on a sheet of paper and then put another sheet of paper on top of it. And I am glad I brought my clipboard out here because the wind is picking up. I think it's going to rain very shortly, and it does not have to be on there any which way. But what you do is, all you have to do after you get this secure, I'm going to take my colored pencil, and it doesn't have to be a colored pencil if you don't have a colored pencil. It could be a crayon. It could just be a regular number 2 pencil. And I am going to rub on top of it, and the texture and the lines and the shape of the leaves will be on the other side. You don't have to, if you're using color, just use one color for the entire paper. Maybe you want to use just secondary colors, or you want your colors to be monochromatic. That means they're going to come all from the same color, but they'll be different shades and tints, showing value. Maybe you'll choose analogous colors, or maybe you just want to do warm and cool colors. So I've done some orange, and now I believe I'm going to do some red. I'm kind of into the warm colors this time of year. You could also throw in a complementary color to show some contrast. So maybe after I do this red for my leaf, I'll add some green, since green is the complement of red. And I also could do the complement of orange, which is violet. So I'm going to add some. There's no particular way you have to shade in your leaves. You could, I'm going to do some violet here very quickly. You could try to trace the outline or do the outline of the leaf, but you don't have to. I am not doing that. I'm making my little abstract in my frottage. And something that some kids have brought up to me is like, what do I do if I make a mistake? Well, you know, honestly, there aren't a lot of mistakes in art. There only are mistakes if you tell people there are mistakes. So art is interpretation. So try not to go back and redo things because you think that you've messed it up. A lot of times when you think you've messed it up, you've just made it more unique. I am going to finish up here. I encourage you to take your time and to do your very best. I think it's going to storm, so I'm in a little bit of a hurry. And something that you need to remember I told you that you need to use small circular motions when you color. When you're doing frottage, you don't do small circular motions. You need to do big strokes back and forth. So here's an example of my frottage, my leaf rubbing or my pencil rubbing. You can also, like I said, use crayon or number 2 pencil. But please get outside and see all the art that is in nature this time of year, because it's very fun to see it all happen in the real world, especially when the leaves start changing color because of photosynthesis ending. That's why. It's great to see all the different colors that come out in the leaves this time of year. Did you know that these colors are in the leaves all year long? We just don't see them because when leaves are undergoing photosynthesis, the chlorophyll keeps them green, but when the plants stop making food for themselves in the fall, all the colors are revealed. And you will see a lot of the colors from the color wheel and the color schemes that we talk about in art in the leaves. Now let's talk about the Bitmoji classroom for a minute. If you have the chance, please make sure you check out the mystery masterpiece. It's my favorite. It's sunflowers. Check out who made that lovely artwork of sunflowers. We'll be learning about that artist a lot this year. I have also added the noisy paint box to the Read Aloud library. I know you read that in music. You can read that again and see if maybe you take the AR test on it and get some AR points. and the virtual field trip. Please check out that virtual field trip. It is the Met Museum for Kids, and you can almost design your own field trip on there. You get to pick the time period and the continent and what exactly you want to learn about. It's very fun. I hope you have a wonderful month enjoying the fall season. I am looking forward to teaching you all about the elements of art this year, and this month in particular. Please have a safe and fun season. I will see you soon in art class. Remember, we're going to make it.